Bay win the NFC South.
Happy Victory Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Feels good, doesn't it? Feels good, doesn't it? All right, so we need to get situated. We need to get comfortable and just set the scene. The Bucs go into this game the second biggest underdog of the entire weekend, according to Vegas. Mind you, that includes the Chargers playing the Panthers. The Bucs were a bigger underdog than the Panthers. Now that we got that out of the way, going to Detroit, which has been damn near, they've been almost unbeatable at home as of late at Ford Field, and then the missing pieces. Obviously, Winfield, first team All-Pro. Gadecki ended up being out. I didn't even get to talk about that because that happened after my preview video. Obviously, was a massive hole on the team. And then Vita Vea goes out shortly after halftime. I said this Bucs team has 5 marquee games this season, and this was one of them, and stated that the last couple years with Todd Bowles, the Bucs have not won the marquee games. They haven't won the big games. They'll beat up on the division a little bit, beat up on some below average teams, maybe some above average teams, but those big dogs, top dogs, they haven't been able to do it. And boom, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go into Detroit and come out with a W that puts the league on notice. This was not just a fluky 2023 season with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, they beat, a bad division, made it to the playoffs. They beat a bad Eagles team, and then they lost. No, something here. Something here. The sign of a good team is when star players go out, starters go out. You have players that, even though they're not on the same talent level, they know their role. They're entrenched in the culture. They know what they need to do to fill that place. And the Bucs have reached that point with Jason Light and the crew. It is something we have not seen very much in, Bucs history. When a star player goes out, it's like, oh my God, panic mode, red alert. Christian Izien just filling in for Antoine Winfield and playing like that. Last week, we can say the headline was the offense. This week, I'll say the headline is the defense. So let's knock the offense out of the way so that we can spend most of our time on that defense. Say, like Baker Mayfield said in his little locker room speech, scrappy, scratch and clawed their way to 20 points. 2 very nice highlight reel touchdowns. They did let Aiden Hutchinson take over the game. What are you going to do? A guy of his caliber going up against a backup right tackle, what are you going to do? They tried to slide Otton over. They tried to have Rachaad White chip. It's Aiden Hutchinson. You need a guy at right tackle to stop Aiden Hutchinson, and on Sunday, School was not that guy. And we got to remember, this is week 2, so there are going to be some blunders, some miscommunications, like that Baker Mayfield interception. I don't think that was on Baker Mayfield. I mean, Godwin and Evans were running sort of the same crosser route, but they were only like 3 or 4 yards apart. That's not supposed to happen. So there's going to be things here and there where we're just like, okay, but overall, I'm good. And I mean, look at your opponent. They didn't lose any big pieces from their offense last season. If anyone comments Josh Reynolds, just save it. Please save it. They didn't lose any of their pieces. Running back still there. Laporta in his second year. Jameson Williams has been better than he was last year, so there's that. And then Amon-Ra, of course. They kept all of their coaches. So head coach Dan Campbell stayed. Ben Johnson, coordinator, stayed. Glenn stayed at defensive coordinator. So they have no reason or no excuse to be like, well, things just aren't clicking, we're trying to get in the groove. No. Everything came over. It's the same system, same players, pretty much. The Bucs, this is week 2 of a new system. Crazy. Baker Mayfield, what a day, being able to scramble. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson in his face for so much of the game. And quick shout out, I mean, it was infuriating during the game, but shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. That dude is a monster, and you got to give that guy his props. He put on a historic performance for all-time Detroit Lions defensive players. That was special to watch. Shout out Aiden Hutchinson. Glad we're past you. But Baker Mayfield being able to scramble 10 yards at a time, 11 yards at a time, and then the QB draw touchdown, it was exactly what the Bucs needed, because they were back there with a stagnant quarterback like Matthew Stafford, who we saw in week 1. It caused some big trouble for their defense, and they had to go 3 yards at a time, 4 yards at a time, 5 yards at a time. For the Bucs, you saw some big plays downfield. 20 yards here, 17 yards here. Really good stuff overall from the offense. Shout out Baker Mayfield. Not crazy numbers in the box score on the stat sheet, but did what he needed to do for the Bucs to win this game. So let's go ahead and watch this Chris Godwin touchdown together. Fantastic call by Liam Cohen. The motion, the bait, the defense took it 1,000% and did not let go. So you'll see Bucky Irving, bottom of your screen, go to your top. Stop there. Corner, completely bit. He said, I'm going to Bucky Irving. That's where the ball's going. Back here, you see Mike Evans. He's going to run sort of a post, sort of a crosser. Just go deep, go to the other side of the field, pull the safety right here, down. Chris Godwin, he's going to break free with that corner that I spoke on going to Bucky. This is going to clear out here. Linebacker, no chance. There you go. Ball's in the air. Corner is like, oh my God, what did I just do? Linebacker is like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get to that. This guy, just watching Mike Evans. Keep watching Mike Evans. Perfect throw, on the money. Can't take that for granted a lot of times. You see a guy that wide open, you're just like, oh my God, I have to hit him. Baker hit him. Here we go. We'll be able to see the linebackers and what they're looking at. Look at their faces right now. What are they looking at? They're looking at Bucky Irving coming across all the way. They shift over. Stop here. They're going to break. We got a man down here, Cody Mock, facing the turf. Godwin. That was such a good play call. Let's move on to Baker's draw. So before this, we know what happened before this. So let's go ahead and just take a moment of silence. He deserves it. Rodriguez, that linebacker for the Detroit Lions, he deserves a moment of silence. So just bear with me. Okay. Baker snatched those ankles. My goodness. He was not ready. So the next play following that, you're going to see the Bucs are going to be outside here, pass protection, giving off that draw. And then you'll see Barton run up. He's going to make a block. Baker finding the hole. K. Dotton, huge block here. Name wasn't called much today, but that's a massive block for Baker to be able to cut back and get that touchdown. This will be a much better view here. So you see their defensive line is the line pretty wide. They're not pinched at all. Expecting pass with Baker in spread for obvious reasons. Why would you expect a QB draw? But that's why this play call is so good. And there he goes. So you see, good here. Wirfs is good here. Bredesen, great job on the middleman here. And Barton is getting out. Here comes K. Dotton with that key block for Baker to be able to cut back. And there it is. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons in Detroit. So, now let's go to this defense. Let's go to this defense, and what a day. They did not listen to any doubters. They did not listen to, oh, this is going to be a shootout, which I myself will 1,000% admit to. I thought it was going to be a lot more higher scoring than 20-16. And I'm happy that they shut me up. This bend don't break style, Todd Bowles perfected it in this game. Just not allowing the Lions to beat them deep. It happened one time early in the game. J-Mo beat Jamel Dean deep, and it did not happen again after that. In my preview, I said We need to watch the middle of the field against the Detroit Lions because that's where Goff loves to target. And I think Bulls might have baited Ben Johnson and Jared Goff in this game. The way the Bucs play defense, they gave them the middle of the field. They gave it to them. They gave them what Goff likes to do. Amon-Ra, how many times did you see him in that middle of the field? Let me pull up Jared Goff's completions. You're going to see a ton of green in the middle of the field and not very much going on deep. When he did go deep middle, 2 interceptions. And you see the one way back there, that was the Jamison Williams, the one catch that I talked about. But look how much there is shallow. He wasn't going past 10 yards very often. And reminder, he threw the ball 55 times. 55 times. So what Todd Bowles did, said, here's the middle of the field, short, shallow middle. We'll give you that, Jared Goff. We know you love to throw it there. Go and take it 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. Guess what happens when you get to the red zone and things tighten up? There is no 5 yards to take. And they could not convert in the red zone at all. All those dinks and dunks, yeah, once you get down there, it's just not going to work. There's a linebacker and a safety right there for it. So where are you going to go? To the flat. We saw that a few times. And late in the game, we saw a couple like options to like Jahmyr Gibbs that got blew up in the backfield. It was interesting game plan from Ben Johnson. I don't really know what he was doing, but I will take it. Vita Vea exits the game shortly after halftime, and Jared Goff throws the ball 55 times. With that offensive line that the Lions have, and you got Montgomery and Gibbs behind Goff, how in the world does Goff throw the ball 55 times? That's wild. Hand the ball off. Like, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but thank you for not handing the ball off. How about that? Like I said, it was like Todd Bowles was baiting him. Like, here, take it. And plenty of times throughout the game, you'll see the Bucs will obviously have 4 down linemen, and then Levante David and Servassier Dennis will be up towards the line to show that they're watching that run. Don't run the ball. And then as soon as the ball is hiked, they both drop into coverage, and they're just giving them that middle of the field short pass. They'll catch it, 5 yards, get tackled, whoop-de-doo. Now I said, 1 for 7 in the red zone. Let me just tell you how crazy that is and why I said Todd Bowles perfected this bend, don't break defense in this game. So, this tweet here by Ben Yarrington, the Buccaneers limited the Lions to 1 touchdown across 7 red zone possessions. They made it to the red zone 7 times, and they only scored 16 points. Insane. The 14.3% defensive red zone efficiency rate is tied for the second best rate in a game with 7 or more red zone possessions since 2000. Whew. That's a stat. You know what I do want to know? You know what I do want to figure out? Is when is the last time the Lions put up 16 or less points at Ford Field? I'm going to figure that out. All right, I'm actually going to bring you guys along with me because I feel like this is going to be crazy. So obviously, week 1, they beat the Los Angeles Rams. That's 1 game. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now we got to go to 2022. We're at 9 games. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's been 14 games at Ford Field for the Detroit Lions since they have scored 16 or less points. And this was in a 15-9 win against the Green Bay Packers. Wow. Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles. You deserve that. You deserve that. That was one of your best regular season game plans, performances, fantastic. Couple guys I want to shout out and talk about before I end this video. Zion McCollum cleared protocol the day before the game and the first defensive snap. His first interception. Now, I will admit, should have been PI. Didn't happen, but he made the catch. It was a good catch. Interception for Zion McCollum. Played a fantastic game. He could have had 2 more interceptions too. Great plays on the ball. I think he had 4 pass breakups. Such a good game from Zion McCollum. All of the Zion McCollum haters out there, I can't hear you anymore. I can't hear you anymore. Next, Servassier Dennis. If you watched my preview, I said we're going to see a lot more Servassier Dennis in this game. And exactly what happened was we saw a lot more Servassier Dennis. He outsnapped KJ Britt. So, not to beat my own chest, but I called that one. Tied Jordan Whitehead for the team lead in tackles in this game. 11 tackles, and he only played, I think, 52% of the snaps. Crazy stat there. Servassier Dennis, sideline to sideline, pass coverage. I talked about all of these things in my preview, and it's exactly how it played out. Huge from Servassier Dennis, and I'm happy he's getting some playing time. I've been a big fan of this guy since he's got on the team. Love his skill set. He's had injuries here and there that have really, I think, limited him. But we're seeing him healthy, and we're seeing that ability come to fruition. And then the 2 safeties in this defense. Talked a little bit about Jordan Whitehead there when mentioning he led the team in tackles, tied with Servassier Dennis. And then Christian Izien spoke on a little bit earlier, but got to give him that shout out. Filling in for Antoine Winfield Jr., and it didn't even seem like it was that much of a hole in that safety position. Getting that interception, I mean, it was thrown right to him. Shout out to the defensive line for getting some pressure on that play, and Goff just throwing it into the middle of the field. I don't know. I'm not complaining. That's just really good stuff. But that's how you fill in for an all-pro right there. For a first-team all-pro right there. Christian Izien. Week 1, playing outside corner with all the injuries. Week 2, filling in for first-team all-pro Antoine Winfield Jr. Baller. He's a baller. He's a baller. So, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Victory Monday. Tuesday, we got to snap out of it because on to Denver at home at Ray J. Excited to see y'all there. Let's pack it out. This team deserves it, and let's get that place rocking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment your thoughts down below because there's so much to talk about with this game. This video is longer than my videos usually are, and I still feel like I have so much more to say. So please comment down below, like and subscribe if you have not already. Thank you again so much for watching. Go Bucks. Y'all have a blessed one.